Coral waters continue to rank amongst the most impressive visual locations in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Some truly beautiful areas here. Now, many of these locations have been updated over the years, so they are always worth a revisit. Here then are 4 of my favourite locations, and we start with this beautiful little Japanese island. As you can see here, it's located 411 kilometers southwest of Okinawa Honto. Also, a quick note here, this video is sponsored by Fabulous, the #1 self-care app to help you build better habits and achieve your goals. More about that in just a minute. So as you can see here, the water masking is being used to great effect here. Whilst it isn't fully available in absolutely every location around the world, it's available in an increasing number of locations. Now, as we go throughout this video, you'll also notice it's being used with increased variety and distinction, so yeah, it looks very, very pretty. You'll notice that the coral reef is fairly close to the coast on some areas, around about 100 meters or so extends out, whilst on other areas of the coast it extends out to nearly 1 kilometer. Some truly stunning coloration going on here. Another thing you'll no doubt notice is the waves. Now, Microsoft Flight Simulator is a little bit weird when it comes to waves because there's no real currents going on. The only way to get waves is to set the wind speed up, and you can see that's having a bit of an effect on my airplane here. The bottom line is that waves in Microsoft Flight Simulator are only affected by local wind, not wind that's further out to sea. Generally, this isn't a problem with coral water because it looks lovely anyway, but if you want some of these white caps, then like I say, you will need to set a little bit of wind speed, around about 10 miles per hour or so seems to be good enough. So that's the first island. Let's move on to the other 3, but before we do that, here's a quick word about the sponsors of this video. In recent times, there's 2 large things I've managed to pull off: building a decent-sized YouTube channel and making a 300-mile house move. Changing one's life and circumstances is by no means an easy thing. It takes dedication, but perhaps more importantly, it takes steps. And this is something that the Fabulous app understands very well. Fabulous then acts as a digital coach, not only lightening the load, but also to bring encouragement. With over 30 million users around the world, Fabulous helps people create new and healthy habits by using behavioral science. The app contains more than 100 new healthy habits, or you can create your own. Reminders will help you maintain these. Or you can use the app's dedicated programs. Choose a journey that will add to your daily routine with guidance and encouragement. So, small steps each day that lead to bigger change. Over the past few days, I've used Fabulous to help improve my work routine and planning. The app has also helped inspire a healthy work-life balance. Of course, I love to explore nature, so the reminders and encouragement to get out of the house have been very welcome and lead to more fresh air and wandering. Start building your ideal daily routine. The first 100 people who click on the link will get 25% off a Fabulous subscription. Around about 700 miles to the northeast of Fiji is a small island called Samoa. Now, whilst this appears to be a relatively small island, it has quite a sized population, around about 200,000 people. Now, right here, I'm flying over the east coast of Samoa, and as you can see, it's a beautiful looking area. There's quite some extensive coral reefs here, and these are protected by the National Marine Sanctuary of American Samoa. In fact, these coral reefs extend throughout the entire Samoan archipelago. In short, it's a stunning marine ecosystem full of tropical fishes, crustaceans, squids, sharks, and many other things. If you want to take a flight over the island itself, you will soon notice it's full of this lush and very dense forest. Over to the right, you can see the land starting to rise up, just gone off the screen right now, and that actually peaks at around 6,000 feet above sea level, so yeah, quite a bit of variety there. Moving on to Mozambique. This area is very much visually distinct from the 2 areas we've previously visited, not only because its coast is somewhat different, but also because of these very unusual pools. And to the east of the pools, you can see the town of Vilanculos. Now, the coral reefs here don't extend quite so far out from the coast as the previous example. However, they look very different, so that makes them very much worth a visit. What I found here, at least that made it stand out for me, is the huge variation in water coloration, and this becomes quite apparent as you start travelling a little bit away from the coast. Just look at the example here, and how as we progress a little bit further along, it dramatically changes. You'll notice that in just a moment. Now, of course, in the real world, this is yet another area full of wildlife. But one thing that makes this particular coral reef stand out, at least from the other examples we've seen so far, is the number of shipwrecks here. Unfortunately, these shipwrecks aren't represented in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but in reality they can be found throughout the whole area, scattered amongst the coral reefs as well as on the beaches themselves. Now, aside from the coral reefs, what really caught my attention is the strange pools slightly further inland. Now, I call them pools largely due to their unusual shape, but in reality they are actually lakes. They're of course pretty small. The smallest ones tend to be less than half a mile long, whereas the longer ones are around about 1.5 miles or so in length. What makes them particularly stand out to me though is the way they are clustered together. Basically, if you're out for a pretty short flight, then this makes for a gorgeous circular route. You can fly along the coast out towards the coral reefs, then back inland a little bit over the lakes right here. Quite a nice tour overall. And talking of tours, I've saved the best for last. This is Chateau de Costa Aires in Brittany, France, and you can see straight away from the world map here that there's some great looking water features here. It makes the entire area worth flying over. Just look at that. Of course, the standout feature, perhaps more so than the coral water, is the Chateau de Costa Aires itself. This was added into Microsoft Flight Simulator as a handcrafted area back in April of 2021, and we get a slightly closer look of this right here. Now, in the grand scheme of things, this isn't a particularly old building. It was constructed around about 1892, so as far as I'm concerned, it's not really its age that makes it a standout feature, but rather the style of it. Very, very nice architecture there. Moving on though, the surrounding area also has some standout features in the form of the water. Lovely area to fly over. So, overall, over the previous years, Microsoft have certainly added some very nice watermasking features into Microsoft Flight Simulator. Well worth exploring and checking out. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.